It appears there's a pretty serious marijuana problem in the Ames School District. So says Doug Hall with Pride Surveys. These folks were hired by Ames to come in and survey the kids and ask them about their drug use and alcohol use. Across the board, they found that the use of alcohol and marijuana was much higher in the Ames middle schools and high schools than it is on the national averages. And so now they believe they have a serious problem out there, particularly with marijuana use. And the Statesman this morning is reporting that they're trying to implement some policies to change this problem.
Education, education, education. These kids, I mean, you know, when you're selling drugs, what do? You go to where there's a market. And there's a very ready market out in that area because kids have money.
Here is Dean on 360. Good morning, Dean. You're on KLBJ.
Good morning. Mandatory drug testing for all students in public schools.
Mandatory.
Just random. You don't have to be totally mandatory. Mandatory random will stop it in a heartbeat.
Who's going to pay for it, Dino?
I'll vote for it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You going to pay for it?
You know, they'll.
You better believe it.
Yeah, I don't mind paying for that for the simple reason if you've got a student that you're paying for and they're totally drugged out all the time, they're going to wind up being a total drain on society later on anyway.
I'm not paying for that when it's mom and dad's responsibility.
And mom and dad, that the kids that get caught, there should be a real severe monetary fine for those parents.
Gabe in Cedar Park. Hi, Gabe. You're on KLBJ. Good morning.
I would like to make a correction to something that Sergeant Sam said. I use marijuana as a medicine, and it's very effective for me. My ability to read a book and retain information and remember and articulate my thoughts has improved drastically in the time that I've used it as a medicine.
You know, I heard that about LSD when I first started pranking around with that. And, it just opened my mind to so many different thoughts.
Where are you a student, Gabe?
I'm a student at, I'd like to keep that I'd like to keep that off the record.
What's your illness, Gabe? What's your illness?
My illness? I've got, you want me to tell you right now what I use it for?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I had ingrown toenails for most of my life. And if you know what that's like, it's a lot of pain. So, that heals that. And, I used to sleepwalk. That stopped when I started using cannabis as a medicine. I have ADD pretty severe. I used to be unable to read a book all the way through because I'd have to reread each page over and over.
What doctor prescribed marijuana for this, Gabe?
Myself.
Are you a doctor of medicine, my friend?
No, I'm not, but I study anthropology and I study plant medicines, and I've studied plant medicines that people have used since we started cultivating plants 12,000 years ago.
So just about everything, maybe marijuana is a remedy. Correct? Sounds like it is.
Yes, it is for me.
It is for you.
And I take it damn serious.
Ellie's calling from Round Rock. Hello, Ellie. Welcome. You're on KLBJ Radio. Good morning.
Hi. I know I cannot be the only one out there laughing about ingrown toenails. Give me a break. That's just a stoner looking to get stoned. Give me a break.
Yeah, I know. Well, if he's stoned, his toenails aren't hurting him.
It's a medical breakthrough.
I've got ingrown toenails. I'm not getting high. Give me a break. Unless you're a cancer patient nauseated from chemo and you're getting it from a real doctor with an MD, not a quack homeopath.
All right, Ellie. Thank you.
Ellie.
836-0590, 877-590, KLBJ. This is Kathy in South Austin on KLBJ. Good morning, Kathy.
Hi there. Well, I was laughing at that one, too, so I don't think she's alone by any means. But I've got two grown kids. They're in their 20s now, and they grew up in Austin high schools. And the big thing when they were in high school and early college going to ACC was to go find a party in Westlake because they were drinking and having so much fun.
They had all the good stuff.
They have all the good stuff. And so, these folks in Westlake need to open their eyes. Of course, they really don't think they need to open up their eyes. But,
some of these...
this is a definite class system. We've got all these folks in East Austin that are getting, hit with being arrested. And then we've got all these folks in West Austin that think, it's, work hard, party hard, what's the big deal?
Well, don't you think some of the parents may have had, some of their own parties where their little bowl of goodies was out there?
If they were at home, I'm sure they were doing it without a doubt.
Now, I'm talking about when the parents had their own little private parties.
Oh,
it's
sure.
no incidents that that I've lived in different neighborhoods, and Judy and Sam didn't get invited to some big
I mean,
party.
swingers
'Cause
parties?
you
Swingers?
weren't in
They
the
weren't
group.
swingers parties. They just always probably had a little dope, little recreational drug.
Little dope at them Westlake parties? Yeah.
We're not going to invite the ex-cop.
Yeah, that'd be real smart.
Well, back then I was a cop, so I certainly didn't get invited to a lot of parties.
Thank you, Kathy. This is Chris in South Austin on KLBJ. Hi, Chris.
Hey guys, how you doing this morning?
Fine. Good morning, Chris.
I just want to let you guys know that comment was really ridiculous about the ingrown toenails and everything. But when I went to college, I started taking marijuana, and while I was a kid and a teenager, I had asthma really bad. And once I started smoking marijuana, my asthma went into recession. I don't smoke marijuana anymore, but that was one thing that happened to me.
George, thanks very much. We'll check traffic next on KLBJ.
A little